This video is part 4 to the series of permutation and combination videos. And this one is about when vowels come together, when consonants come together, or when vowels never come together or consonants never come together. Okay? The best way to explain this is with an example. So let's look at example 1. Example 1. It says, in how many different ways can the letters of the word optical be arranged so that the vowels come together? Okay, so the first thing we need to identify what the vowels are. So we have O, that's one, I, and A. Those are the vowels. So if they come together, we're going to put them in a box here. The other letters would be P, T, C, and L. Now let's count the original word. See how many letters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we do this to make sure that we account for all the letters. Okay? Now the letters in the box, we're going to treat all of those like it's one letter. Okay? So we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be 5 factorial. Then we're going to look at this part to see if there's any repeat. There's no repeat here, so usually we divide by the number of repeats, so that would be 0 repeats because there's no repeat. Okay? Times, we look in the box to see how many letters are there. We have 1, 2, 3. So that would be 3 factorial. And in this, we don't see any repeat, so that would be 0 repeat. We always divide by the number of repeats. Okay? Remember that 0 factorial is 1. So this is really saying 5 factorial divided by 1, which is just 5 factorial, times 3 factorial divided by 1, which is just 3 factorial there. Okay, so this is what we would have here. Okay, and we can put this in our calculator to see what it is. 5 factorial, so that would be 5. Hit math, come over to PRB, and then scroll down. Oh, come on. PRB, scroll down to number 4, and hit enter. So that would be 5 factorial times 3 factorial. Hit math again, scroll over to PRB, come down to number 4, and that would be our answer, 720. 720 ways. Okay, another way of looking at this, you might be wondering where these came from, but I just explain it. Another way to look at this in terms of position, the other letters that are left, which would be P, T, C, L, when we put the vowels together, they could be placed here, which is 1 position, or here, which is 2 positions, or here 3, or here 4, or here 5. That's where the 5 factorial came from. Okay, and again, how many letters did we put together? We put 3 letters together. That's where the 3 factorial came from. Okay, all right. So this is example 1. Let's look at example 2, and we'll go through it a little bit more quickly. Example 2 says, in how many different ways can the letters of the word corporation be arranged so that the vowels come together? Again, we're putting the vowels together. Okay, so let's look at the vowels here. We have O, O, A, I, O. So these are the vowels here. Okay, O, O, A, I, O. Now the other letters would be C, R, P, R, T, N. So let's see how many letters we had before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Good. So we are okay. All right. So all of this in the box, these are considered to be one letter. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this would be 7 factorial. Now we're going to look at this part to see if there's any repeat. We see that R repeat 2 times, so it would be divided by 2 factorial there. And this is the only repeat we have here. Okay, times how many letters in the box? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 5 factorial divided, how many repeats are there in the box? 1, 2, 3. So that would be divided by 3 factorial there, okay? And this would be the O is the only repeat in the box. So this would be your solution. Again, we can put this in our calculator. Here's a fast way of calculating it. Whatever factorial is in the denominator, we're going to stop there in the numerator. So this would be 7 factorial, that is 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 factorial. And I stop it at 2 factorial because there's a 2 factorial here. So I put it over 2 factorial. Okay. Times 5 factorial. We're going to stop it at 3 because we can cancel the 3 factorial here. So 5 factorial, that is 5 times 4 times 3 factorial divided by our 3 factorial there. Okay, so this 3 factorial will take out that. This 2 factorial will take out that. So what we would have now, we can put all of this in our calculator as is. So let's put it here. So what we have is 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times or 5 times or 4 there. And that would give us 50,400. So that's the number of ways. 50,400. That's the number of ways the word corporation could be arranged such that the vowels come together. Okay? Now let's look at when the consonants come together. It's the same concept. Okay? Just that we're grouping the consonants now instead of the vowels. So it says, how many ways can the letters of the word format be arranged if the consonants come together? Okay? So the consonants now, here are the consonants. F, R, M, T. We want them to come together, so we put them in a box here. And the other letters would be O and A. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. All of this in the box, that's considered to be one letter. So it would really be 1, 2, 3. So that would be 3 factorial. When we look at here, there is no repeat. Times, how many letters in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is times 4 factorial. Again, there is no repeat there. So this is your solution. And again, we can tell what that is. So we could just hit 3, hit math. Come over to PRB, come down to number 4, so that is 3 factorial times 4. Hit math again, come over to PRB, come down to number 4. So that would be 144 ways the word format can be arranged such that the consonants come together. Alright, now let's look at one more example just for practice for that, and then we'll look at our final concept. It said, how many ways can the letters of the word mathematics be arranged such that the consonants come together? So the consonants, these would be M, T, H, M, T, C, S. Okay, so these are our consonants. And the other letters now would be A, E, A, I. So let's see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Good. All these in the box, that's just one letter. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be 5 factorial. When we look at this part, we see that A repeat twice. So that would be divided by 2 factorial. Times, when we look inside the box here, we see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is 7 factorial. And we see that M repeat twice, so that is divided by 2 factorial. Times, we see that T also repeat twice, so that's another 2 factorial. Okay. Now again, this is your answer. But if you want to break it down, we could write this as 5 factorial, which is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2, and I say 2 factorial divided by this 2 factorial. Okay. Times, let's work out this part over here. This would be times 7 factorial, which is 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 factorial divided. This 2 factorial, I can write that as 2 times 1 times this 2 factorial, I just write it as 2 factorial. So this 2 factorial take out that 2 factorial. This 2 factorial take out that 2 factorial. 2 into itself 1, 2 into 4 goes 2. And I can put all of that in my calculator as is. Okay? So I could say now, I could say here 5 times 4 times 3 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 2 times 3, and that would give me 75,600. So there are 75,600 ways the word mathematics can be arranged such that the consonants come together. Okay? Alright, now let's look at our final concept. Our final concept is never together. Okay? And the formula for never together, write this in your books, is the total number of ways the letters of a word can be arranged minus when the vowels come together. That's if the question asks you how many ways can the letters of the word sister be arranged such that the vowels never come together. Okay? So if it's the vowels never come together, then it would be the total number of ways the letters of the word sister can be arranged minus when the vowels come together in this word. So let's look at the example. So here we would have the total number of ways the word sister can be arranged would be, let's see how many letters are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be 6 factorial. And of that, we see that we have S repeating 2 times. So that is divided by 2 factorial. That is the only repeat. Minus when the vowels come together. Let's look at when the vowels come together. When the vowels come together, we would have the vowels are I and E. So we put those in a box. The other letters would be S, S, T, and R. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. So it would just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 5 factorial divided. When we look at this side, we see that S repeat 2 times. So that's divided by 2 factorial times. We see that there are 2 letters in the box. So that is 2 factorial and there's no repeat. So this 2 factorial could take out that 2 factorial. So what we would have now is minus 5 factorial here. And this is your solution. Okay? You could put this in your calculator as is. Okay? You could put that in your calculator as is. As well as we could actually work it by hand. Okay? So we could say 6 factorial, which is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 factorial divided by 2 factorial there. Minus 5 factorial here, which is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 1. So this would take out that. So what we would have is this part here. Let's see what is this. This is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3. And that is 360 minus this part here is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2. And that would be 120. So 360 minus 120, and that would give us 240. So 240 ways. Okay? Alright, here you go. 240 ways. Alright, let's look at our final example real quick. So our final example is just, we're going to now look at when the consonants never come together. So how many ways the letters of the word ultimate can be arranged so that the consonants never come together? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters. So that would be 8 factorial. And of that, do we have any repeat? We have T repeating 2 times. So that's divided by 2 factorial. And that is the only repeat. Okay? Minus when the consonants come together. So when the consonants come together, that would be L, T, M, T. Okay? And the other letters would be U, I, A, E. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be 5 factorial. There is no repeat here. Times, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 factorial divided. We see that T repeating 2 times divided by 2 factorial. So this part would be 5 factorial times 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial. And this would be your actual answer here. Again, you could work this out by hand or you could put it in your calculator. Okay? But this is how you treat it when vowels come together, when consonants come together, or when vowels are never together, or consonants are never together. So in this case, this would be your solution for when the consonants of this word are never together. Have a fantastic day.